Yo, may mic na ako. Hindi siya buzzy. Goods. Wala ako gapon. Yun nga. Meron pa. Ina natin ito. Yan. Ayun na, mahina na lang. Ito, walakas na ulit. Ayan, mahina na ulit. Okay. Okay. Okay, game. Tuloy lang. Ano ba ang last? F strings. Okay. Ito, F strings nga. Okay. Meron pa rin buga ng hangin. Wala kasing boom mic. Sila ka magkakode. Okay na to muna. Okay, let's go. Browse lang.
Here are 3 Python mistakes you should definitely try to avoid. Mistake 1, using function names as variables. Here I have a variable str equal to my string, and then when I print it, no problem, right?
Para hindi ganun. Wait lang. Okay, titry ko pa ulit eh. Yan.
Right? Wrong. str is a built-in Python function that I've just overwritten. So later in my code, when I have y is equal to 10 and I want to convert y to a string, when I do this, I get an error. That's because it's trying to use my str variable up here like it's a function. Mistake 2, wildcard imports. You'll see here in this script, I'm importing every function that exists in the math module just to use the single sign function it provides here. This creates namespace pollution and results in unnecessary performance overhead. So here, just say from math import sign instead. Mistake 3, single letter variable names. Try to avoid using single letter variable names as it makes single letter variable names as it makes the code less readable and maintainable. Be sure to leave a like if you found this helpful. Here are 3 Python mistakes you should definitely
Okay, tuloy. Ano, dictionaries muna. Tsaka tong tuples. Pero dictionary tsaka lists muna tayo today. Sunod to, gusto ko lang gawin. Okay. Dictionaries. Let's go.
Hey everybody, in today's video I'm going to explain dictionaries. A dictionary is one of the 4 basic collection types for beginners. A dictionary consists of key value pairs. They are ordered and changeable. No duplicates allowed. A few examples of key value pairs could be an ID and a name, an item and a price. But in today's example, we'll create a dictionary of countries and capitals. Let's name our dictionary capitals. Capitals equals enclose your dictionary with a set of curly braces, much like what you do with sets. The first country will be the USA. To add a value to this key, type colon, then some other value. The capital of the USA will be Washington, D.C. Separate each key value pair with a comma, then we can add another key value pair. So the capital of India, that will be New Delhi. We'll add 2 more. China, the capital is Beijing. Russia, the capital is Moscow. I think that's good enough. Just as a reminder, if you would like to see all of the different attributes and methods of a dictionary, you can use the dir function, pass in your dictionary, capitals, then we'll need to print this. Here's all the different attributes and methods of a dictionary. If you would like an in-depth description of all these attributes and methods, you can use the help function. That's herp. Help. There we go. So yeah, that's just a reminder. All right, let's cover a few of the methods. To get one of the values from a dictionary, you would get the key. Type the name of the dictionary, capitals.get. Let's get the capital of the USA.
Ito na yung may mga ano, tawag dun. Yung parang storage. Same lang siya ng lists, pero parang storage na. I don't know.
Then we'll print it. The value associated with this key, the USA, is Washington, D.C. If I picked a different country like India, well then we would get that associated value, which is New Delhi. Another thing, if Python doesn't find a key, this is what will be returned. Let's get Japan, which is not in our dictionary. This method would return none. We can use this within an if statement. If capitals.get Japan, if a value is returned, then we will print that capital exists. Else, we will print that capital doesn't exist. So Japan is not in our dictionary, that capital doesn't exist, but Russia is. That capital does exist. That's how to check to see if a key is within our dictionary. You can use the get method. All right, moving on. Let's update our dictionary. Capitals.update. So within a set of curly braces, I will add a key, then a value. Germany, followed by Berlin. Then let's print our dictionary. I'll use a print statement. Print capitals. Yeah, and there's Germany right there. Using the
lists. Okay.
update method, we can insert a new key value pair or update an existing key value pair. Let's also change one of the existing values. With our key USA, let's update the capital to be Detroit. Yeah, see, the value has been updated. The capital of the USA is now Detroit, Michigan. To remove a key, and there's an capital doesn't exist. Capital our dictionary, following a value. Germany, followed by a pair with USA is now Detroit, Michigan. To remove a key value pair, you can use the pop method. Then pass in a key. Let's remove China. China no longer exists within our dictionary. It's gone. You can remove the latest key value pair within a dictionary by using the pop item method. Capitals dot pop item. With pop item, you don't need to pass in a key. Pop item will remove the latest key value pair that was inserted. Then we have clear. Capitals dot clear. That will clear the dictionary. It's pretty self-explanatory. The next few methods are a little tricky to explain. To get all of the keys within the dictionary, but not the values, there is a keys method. Capitals dot keys. I think I'm going to insert this within a variable. Keys equals capitals dot keys. Let's see what happens when we print this. The keys method will return all of the keys within our dictionary. Technically, keys is an object which resembles a list. I haven't discussed object-oriented programming yet. This is a little bit above our level. If you ever need the keys in a dictionary, you can use the keys method. One use is that we can use that within a for loop. They're iterable. For every key in capitals dot keys method, let's print every key. If at any time you need to iterate over all the keys, you can use a for loop to iterate over every key that is returned from the keys method of your dictionary. There's also the values method. To get all of the values, there's also the values method. To get all of the values within your dictionary, there is a values method. Values equals capitals dot values method. Then let's print our values. Like before with the keys method, the values method will return an object which resembles a list. Let's iterate and print over every value within our dictionary. For every value in capitals dot values, print every value. Here are all the values within our dictionary. This next one is probably the most tricky. It is the items method. Capitals dot items. I will assign what is returned to a variable named items. Then we will print items. Items returns a dictionary object which resembles a 2D list of tuples. It's really complicated. How might this be useful? This time we're going to use a for loop to print every key, comma, value in capitals dot items method. We have, in essence, two counters this time. I will print, using an F string, every key value pair. I will print every key, as well as every value in our print statement. So there's our dictionary laid out. We have iterated over every key value pair. It's kind of an advanced topic, but I thought I would at least bring it up now. So yeah, that's a dictionary, everybody. It's a collection of key value pairs. They are ordered and changeable. No duplicates allowed. You have a bunch of different methods such as get, update, pop, pop item, clear. Then you can get the keys, the values, or both, which is the items method. We'll be using dictionaries in a few game programs we'll be making in the future. And well, yeah, those are dictionaries in Python.
Hindi masyadong ganun kahirap. Parang ano lang. Parang lists lang na May value tsaka item. May key tsaka value. Okay. Anong gamit nito? Try nga natin to. Ay, sorry. Boy. Okay. Pwede ka maggawa ng boolean kaya dyan. Pwede kaya to. So, pwede. Pwede siya. Okay. Anong next? Paano ito gamitin? Malibas pairing dictionaries. Text split, ano yun? Ito menu systems pwede. Apple 10,015. Pwede mo siyang update. Pwede rin yan. Price of milk. Menu milk. Menu milk 20. Long if chains. If choice 1 print you started. Ooh, oh, yo. Choice input enter. Oh shoot. Ito ang pinaka-useful nito. Dictionary. Pwede ko nang paiksiin yung mga code ko. Wow, okay. Ay na mini database nga. 001. Actually, pwede mo nga ito lagyan ng name eh. Pwede ko ito gawing ano eh. How to add a input functions. Adding. Alam ko ano lang naman eh. Okay, while true student ID. Oh shoot. Lista, diba? Ah, hindi. Ano to? Dictionary ba? Nalito ako. Dictionaries nga. Ano yung isa list? List pala yung nagamit ko. Okay. Madali na lang to. While true student ID input ID if student ID then okay break. Okay, add to dictionary students that ID slash equal. Ano to? Ano yan? Student ID lower, meaning again that lower, then and final students. to? Enfine? Ano yan? Hindi ko alam yung bash. Stop equals 001. Saan yun? He asked this for a key. Yeah, key student ID. Oh, student ID. Ito. Student ID. Student ID 001. Name. Age. Saan ito nakapunta? Student ID. Not lower. Okay. Okay. Loops until they said ano. Tingin like ito. 005. Ay, dire-diretso lang to. Oh. Okay. 005. Name, age. Discover akong app eh. Nasaan na yun? Hanapin ko yun. Discover ko yun eh. Nasaan na yun?
Wasn't until a month went by that he finally opened his mouth.
Ito. Ito. Saan na yun? Alam ko na save ko yun eh. Wait lang. But nawala. Up yun eh. Nakalim mo ay ano yun eh. Meron yun eh. Meron yung parang website eh. Nakalim mo wala tuloy. Nawala. Meron ako nakikita nun eh. Hanapin ko na lang ulit. Try natin to. Nagamit ko na to. Students. Merong curly tabs. Basically yung storage while true. Yung while loop until break siya pag sabi ka nang doon. Input ng student ID. Nasa local pa lang to. Or global na. Hindi, global na ata yan. Global. Then name input. Age. To. Adds into dictionary. Hindi ko gets to. Students. Student ID equals ito yung dictionary. Di ba dapat ano tawag dito?
time, we're going to
Ginawa niya. Itong in final, basically, students print. Ito na yan, students. Nasa for loop, nasa while true loop din siya. New name and age. Paano ma-add sa while sa dictionary yun? Huh? Ano to? Bakit kailangan ng ano? Pare ko. Ng brackets. Alam ko 001. Tapos yung name. Tapos may mag-add. Ito gets ko to eh. Name and age. Kasi variable na yan eh. Name tsaka age. Basically. Ito paano to nag-add up. Check ka lang. Pray natin ito. Bagal talaga. Look, mag-update sila. May line argument na. Done. Huh? Ba't wala na? Line 21. Ay gago, student ID. Mali eh. Dan lang. Huh? I know. Kaya nga. Through all. Mga loop. Nagluloop nga siya. Saan nagagaling yung student ID? I mean, saan siya napupunta? Paano to? Student ID. Okay, student ID. Bali niya 001. Student ID 001 na labas. True. Diba? Saan to galing? Ano to? Ano tong value na to? Ano tong brackets? Ganon. This student storage box keys. Saan yung students? Ito students. Student ID 001 students. Students. Ano ba to? Students. Student baliktad. Creator update the entry with the key stored in it. Gets ko siya kasi ang weird niya talaga eh. Students, the student ID. Student ID dapat number lang yun, tapos yung students. Hindi nga ma-print yung students eh. Try natin ulit. Kamana naman. Ay, students lang. Sabi yung buong code. Paano pag tinanggal ko to? Wala. Kasi walang value. Yung ano. Kasi walang pupuntahan tong mga to. Name, age. Ito ganito dapat. Students to this name, age. Tama lang. Yung ID hindi ko gets. Student ID. Pwede sa baliktad. Baka malilito lang ako. Bawal. Ang weird naman nun. No? Paano talaga add student una to dapat bago to. mahina lang ChatGPT sabihin. Laka. Ayan yan. Nice. This is about why the order looks flip when we write. Receiving text inside the student storage box. Oh! My job is start container. Oh, directory dictionary key. Okay. Dictionary key.
The capital of the USA. Return that capital doesn't value. Print dictionary by using the pop cap of the key is within our dictionary. For loop dictionary. Technically, key is an object which resembles a list. I haven't discussed object-oriented programming yet. It's tricky.
Okay. Students. Student ID. Dictionary key. Value. So, magiging value na ito. Magiging value siya. So, students. Paano ko yung key?
Above our level. If you ever need the keys in a dictionary, you can use the keys method. One use is that we can use that within
try lang. Okay, nagiging kiss pala siya. Kaya pala ganun. Okay. Okay. Print key method. Directory key. First, student ID. Gagawin niyang kito. Gets. Agawan ako ng basic lang. Para may basa na yung if tsaka else container. Balikan natin yung copy shop. Gawin natin dictionaries. Kunyari. $15. Latte. $12. Mali. Paano gamitin ulit ito? Alin yun? Storing related counting. Ito nga yun eh. Options. Ganun ba yun? Ganun. 99 module print is not defined. Hindi pwede mo i-print ang may ano. Pwede mo i-print to.
In a for loop. Alright, and we can pass in your, use the helper. Let's get the associated with this. Then we'll need to print this. Dictionary with the set could be, we can use the this with an doesn't exist of curly bracket. Then pass in a key. Let's remove essay. Let's
pwede yun eh. Ay, buo po talaga. Ay, nako. Yun, print menu. Say input. Ito yung single program lang.
update the
Ay, nako. Bubo. Hirap ng ganito. Daming ingay. Print. Tama lang naman. Print menu. Name input. Print LOF. Paano ma-lesson yun? Choice input enter option. Oh. Big start. Paano? Enter option. Print options. That git. Add that git na gagamitin mo. Choice. Putan ba valid dito? Automatic na read niya. So hindi ko na gagamitin tong by input. Hindi gagamitin ko pa rin by input. Print na. Print by menu dot get by. Ganyan lang. Kaki, ang simple niya. Menu.get. Oh. Galing oh. Paano gagawin? Paste na siya. Mas madali. Okay. Magana pa rin to. Yes. Queen ko nga to. Yung lower TypeScript para mas madali. That lower. I know that lower. Paano ko gamitin yan? bawal pala yun. That lower. Oh, hindi siya pwede. That lower. Ay, tang. Yung akin. To. Saan yes? Paano? Where to put? Where? Ah, after. So after. Ah, okay. After nito. Dito pala. Gagana. Hindi siya gagana ata. Oh, hindi siya gagana. That lower kasi walang brackets. Try. Ilan ba tayo? Yes, alter gate, lower gate, and make sure the input lowercase 2. Pi equals. Bakit sa akin di nagana? Ba't sa akin di nagana? I-update natin yung copy shop gamit to. Uncomfortable nito. Sobra. Where na to? Saan ba dapat? Dapat dito that lower, ba't sa akin hindi nagana? Nan pa rin. Huh? Bakit tayo? Kailangan upper keys na. Huh? Oh, ba't nagana? Ano nangyari? That lower slash parenthesis. Ano nangyari? You want to show add. Ano daw? Sorry, we don't have that. case din siya. Ako mas prefer capitalize. So dapat ito ibaba ako ng lower case din. Okay. Dapat ganun. Okay. Hindi siya pwedeng sabay. Consistent. Okay. Okay. Ito pa. Yung error. Pwede nagko-convert na siya ng error. Oh my god. Okay. Dali na ito sobra. Sobrang useful yan. Sobrang useful. Okay. Pamba. Spelling dictionaries. Ayun nga, sobrang easy na lang niya. Ang easy na lang. Quiz game. Questions that lower. Print correct else. Tolin. Okay. Phone book to. Maganda to. Paano tong quiz game? Hirap na ito compare dito sa may mic na isa. Ang kailangan malapit. Try. France sa Paris daw. Question, answering quiz items. User answer. Ano yung user answer? Valuable. Input question that lower. Score 1. Score. Check natin yung lead. Hindi ko alam yung lead. Lead functions. Ano ba to?
Yes, in today's topic.
Beyond. So I've got the survey open. You can access the same page.
Paano yun? Len. Yun na lang Len. Len.
What is the purpose of the len function in Python?
The len function returns the length of an object. It can be used with sequences like strings, lists, tuples, etc.
Paano yun?
After pressing enter,
Wala visual explain to madali. Kasi mo EA yung babaeng yan. Hindi pag EA yan. Hindi ako naniniwalang EA pero mukhang EA nga siya. May course sila.
You'll have two experienced mentors by your side. My name is Sebastian. I'm a finance professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I've been using Python extensively for many years, both for my academic research and in the classroom.
Mata niya gagi. AI ba to? Gagi mo siyang AI. So support sila kasi maganda yung content nila. $219 na yung 50, 5.5 hours. Sa Udemy. There's a Skillshare. I'm starting to think of buying to AI. It could be Arkit but not actually. Hindi ko ma-sure.
Hi everyone! In this video, we'll learn about Python variables and how you can use them in your program. We'll learn how to operate on data stored in variables and how you can get the most out of your variables by using a few simple naming rules. Let's get started. In programming, you can think of variables as I can create a variable.
I don't know. Try.
Hey everyone, welcome to your lengthy video. And I say lengthy not because the video is long, rather we're talking about a really important function to get the length of a string. Yeah, I know, my puns are fire. Alright, let's get started. Do you need help advancing your coding skills on and new content? Use the link in the description to get 20. It's please subscribe because I'm desperate. Alright guys, come on, help me out. Yeah, please subscribe. And what we can do is we can also print indexes of this. So for example, we can grab index 6, and that's going to give us a space, of course. And what if we wanted to actually figure out the total number of indexes in this string? So, you know, maybe we wanted to loop through this string later on and grab each character. We need to know when to stop. And the way we can do that is with a special function, and it's actually called len. So here's how we're going to invoke it. Let me just move this down a line. We're going to say len and then pass in message. And it returns the number of items in a container. Ooh. So the container being the string, number of items being characters. So this is going to return that. So what we need to do is we actually need to take it and put it inside of a print so we can get it out in the terminal, hitting run, and we get 16. So there's 16 characters. Let me just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So it is correct. Now, hold up. I know what you're going to ask next. Caleb, could you please tell us the association between the length of a string and the indexes of a string? Of course I can, guys. So the indexes, the max index is always going to be one less than the length. So if we grab index 15, like so, this is going to be the E. Hitting run, and we grab E. So perfect.
Indexes pa yung ginawa ko kanina. Indexes pa yun. Sana yung ginawa ko kanina. Ito. Ito indexes to student ID. Tapos ando to yung add key. Hirap naman ito. Student ID. Saan na yun? Sinabi niya yun eh. Ayun, directionary key. Value. Directionary key. That's value. Okay.
That's because the first character starts at 0, so it's shifted over 1. A very common mistake for new developers is they assume the indexes go up to the length, except they don't. They go up to the length minus 1. If you were to put 16, which is the length, we're going to get an error which says index out of range. Bad boy, don't do that. So you know earlier on we grabbed the last character. You see something like this is actually getting.
So yung len dito. Len. Quiz. Ito quiz. Okay. Len. Score. Your score. Score. 3 out of. Paano ito nag-work? Hindi ko gets. Print mo, yun yung pinaka-function, ay yung pinaka-direct dictionary. Sagot, score 0. For a question, answer in quiz, items. User answer equals input. Question. Pag input mo na sa may quiz. +1. Print correct. Else wrong. Score. Tatali epi score. Len. Length. Quiz. Hindi. Default pala yung 3/3. Ako nga pala. So, kahit okay. Default nga pala yung 3. So, constant yun. Hindi siya bago. Yan, pagkat tayo. Access memory. Try natin. Meron dyan. Anong problema? Anong problema dito? Anong problem? Tama naman. Ouch. Here. Missing comma after Mars must be separated by comma. You forgot the comma after Mars. No, mali pa rin eh. Random access missing comma bonus small with only M. Okay, sorry na. Wrong spelling. Wrong memory. Oh my god, yun lang pala. Kailangan ko pala talaga ganyan. Okay. Bam, bam, bam. So yung last one, hindi mo nalagyan. Ah, okay. Yes. Mars daw. Okay, 3 out of 4. Paris 12. Tama pa rin. Mars. Mori. Ba't mali? Bakit mali? Random. Ba't mali? Huh? Try again. Oh, ba't yun na mali? Random access memory. Tama naman. Ngayon, mas marami len. Len quiz. Basically, add niya lang. Numbers lang siya. Paano pag len? Sa variable niya. Len variable. Try nga. Tawag dito. Dictionaries. Kunyari, kuha ako ng ano. Kuha tayo ng dictionary. Ano yung basal yan? Items. Apple. Mango. Pineapple.
line. So this one, and we get 6.
Len items. EOF mali.
16.
Try natin siya gawing ano. Mga strings. Okay, try. Ayaw pa rin. Bakit EOF?
Indexes.
Oh. Masyado na akong depende kay ChatGPT. Pwede pala siya. So, kulang lang ako ng ano. Oh my goodness. So tama nga, Len. Nagko-copy lang siya kung ilan yung item sa isang ano. Okay. Makes sense. Very easy lang na pala namin yung Len tsaka F strings. Wow. Okay.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? And meet groceries. Name of the list, then use the index operator. So fruits at index of 0 is a pineapple again. With a 2
Nag-add siya. Fruits by 0, pineapple.
2D list, it's a little different.
Hindi siya apple.
If I were to print my 2D list of groceries, we would lay out the entire 2D list flat. We have individual lists separated with a comma, all enclosed within a set of square brackets.
Okay.
Taking the elements found within our 2D list, I'm going to line these up kind of like this. It kind of represents a grid or matrix with rows and columns. Each individual list resembles a row. Each element resembles a column. If I were to print groceries at index 0, in place of returning one element found within one of the lists, that would return an entire row. So groceries at index 0 is my fruits. Groceries at index 0 is my meats list.
Okay.
If I need the apple from the first row within my 2D list of groceries, that would be row 0, column 0. It's kind of like coordinates. Row 0, column 0, that would be my apple.
Okay.
0, 1, which is an orange. 0, 2 is banana. Next to be 1, celery. I'm gonna 1, 2 is potatoes. If we try to access one element within this row, so then the next row would have an index of 2. Column 0 would be chicken. 2, 3 is out of bounds. Now, when you declare a 2D
coordinates, tama lang siya.
list, you don't need to necessarily give each inner list a name. We could do something like this. I'm going to replace these names with the rows. 2 brackets, loops, maybe collection. For every collection in groceries, let's print what our collection is. Using a single for loop would iterate over the rows, but to also iterate over the elements found within each row, we would use a nested loop. For every food in our collection, let's print what our food is. Using nested loops, we can iterate over all of the elements found within our 2D list. But I'm going to make this more organized at the end of a print statement with a space. Then, when we exit the nested loop, I will print a new line by using just an empty print statement. There, that kind of resembles our grid structure. We have rows, and we have columns. structure by space. I'm going to replace the new line character at the end of a print statement with a space. Then, when we exit the nested loop, I will print a new line by using just an empty print statement. There, that kind of resembles our grid structure. We have rows, and we have columns. With two-dimensional collections, you're not limited to just lists. You could create a list of tuples, so the inner rows will be surrounded with a set of parentheses, lid 2. Or you could make a 2D tuple. It's a tuple that's made up of tuples. You could make a tuple made of sets. Use whatever is best for your own programs. Let's go over an exercise. Data type. Let's create a two-dimensional keypad that you would normally find on a phone.
Okay.
We have 3 data types: a list, a set, or a tuple. The elements in a set are unordered, so we can't use that. These numbers need to be in order. If we have the option, a tuple is faster than a list. A tuple is ordered and unchangeable, so we should use it if we can. And that's perfectly fine. Let's create a 2D tuple this time. I will name this 2D tuple numpad.
Numpad.
We have an outer set of parentheses, then an inner set of parentheses for each row. We will have 4 rows. The first row will be 1, 2, 3. The second row, I'm going to put this on a new line. 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
The next row will be 7, 8, 9. Then the last row will be an asterisk character. Then 0. Then the pound sign. So numpad, in this case, is a 2D tuple. Let's use a for loop to iterate over every row. This will be the outer loop. For every, maybe row. For every row in numpad, let's begin by printing our row. So we're printing every row in our numpad, but I'd like to remove the parentheses. Let's create a nested loop for every, maybe num. For num in row.
Okay.
Print whatever that num is. We have 1 long vertical line. Let's replace the new line character at the end of our...
Hindi. Kasi pag row in numpad, pinrint nyo lang yung pinaka-numpad. Tas, for num. Row, print ni numpad, yung numpad. Print niya yung ano?
Our print statement with a space. Then when we escape the nested loop, let's print a new line. And there is our telephone number pad. You can see it's a grid made up of rows and columns. So yeah, that's a 2D list. Well, a 2D collection. It's a collection that's made up of collections. Then with our numpad, we made a 2D tuple. If you ever need a grid or matrix of data, a 2D collection would work perfect. And there you have it, everybody. Those are 2D collections.
Gulo. Gulo pa ako dyan. Tuples. Ano naman tawag doon?
Hey, what's going on, people? It's your bro. Hope you're doing well. And in this video, I'm going to explain tuples in Python. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Okay.
One prayer for the order YouTube algorithm.
Okay.
So two lists, but they're ordered, and we can't change them. They're record. So we can. The process of creating a tuple is very similar to lists, but instead of using a set of square brackets to place all of the values within, we're going to use a set of parentheses, and now we can add a bunch of values related to this collection. Let's give him an age called student, and let's take a look at some of the functions related to tuples, and you can access them by typing student. So we can find the count of how many times a value appears. Let's count how many times the value of bro appears. So we'll need to put this within a print statement so we can actually see it. So bro appears one time with it of your tuple, a certain value. Let's say we would like to find the index of males. Of the value male would be at 2. 0, 1, 2. That's it for the methods available to tuple contents within a tuple using a for loop. Let's say for x in student, we will print x. So this will iterate once through all the values found within our tuple of student. And we can also check to see if a certain value exists within our tuple using an if statement. Let's say if bro in student, if this is true, then what do we want to do? Let's say print bro is here. All right, so since bro is within here, this will be true, and this will print our statement of bro is here. All right, everybody, like I said, this is a super quick video on tuples. They're very similar to lists, except they are ordered and unchangeable. If you'd like a copy of all this code, I will post all of this in the comments down below.
Ayusin natin yung coffee shop next time.
Edition. What else?
How do you know?
Hindi ko alam dito. Nested loops.
Take a look at this Python code. See the repeating print statements inside the loop? This is bad practice. Instead of repeating lines of code, we should nest a second loop. By the end of this video, you'll know how to write nested loops and understand how they work. Let's first familiarize ourselves with the syntax of a nested loop with a simple example. Suppose we have a list of numbers and a list of letters. And we'd like to create this grid where each row corresponds to a number and each column corresponds to a letter. Your first instinct might be to create this pattern using a single for loop that iterates through the numbers list. Inside the loop, you might print the current number along with the first letter, the second letter, and the third letter in the letters list. To print these entries on the same row, we'll use the n equals space argument in the print function. This argument tells Python to insert an empty space after each print statement instead of a new line. This allows us to create a row of values. To move to the next line after each row, we add a print statement at the end of the loop body. If we run the cell, we get the grid pattern that we wanted. This works fine, but see how these three print statements in the loop body are similar?
O nga no, numbers, letters, 1.
As
dictionary, okay.
you may know, when a program contains many lines of similar code, it's usually a good idea to use a loop to perform the tasks instead. For situations like this, where we have repeated code already inside a loop, nested loops can help simplify our code. To see how, let's create a second version of our code. We'll replace the 3 print statements with a for loop that iterates over the letters list. Inside this loop, we'll write a single print statement that outputs both the row number and column letter. Running the code, we get the same output as before.
What? For numbers in numbers, for letters in letters. Print F number ends.
But our new approach with nested loops is more flexible. For example, suppose we want to create more columns by adding a few more letters to our letters list. When we don't use a nested loop, we need to add more print statements manually to create the extra columns.
Yes.
But if we use a nested loop, no changes to the code are needed. We can simply rerun the cell, and the output automatically reflects the new columns. Awesome! Now that we've successfully built and run our nested loops, let's break down exactly how Python processes them. Walking through each step will make it easier to fully grasp how nested loops work under the hood. When we run this code, Python starts by executing the outer for loops header and sets the number iteration variable equal to 1, the first item in the numbers list. Next, Python moves into the outer loop's body and executes the inner loop's header. Here, Python sets the letter iteration variable equal to a, which is the first item in the letters list. Then, Python moves into the inner for loop's body and prints the number and letter variables. At this point, the number variable is 1 and the letter variable is a, so Python prints 1a in the output box. Since this is the last line of the inner loop, Python returns to the header of the inner loop. That's important. Python will execute all iterations of the inner loop before continuing with the rest of the outer loop's body. In the second iteration, it updates letter to b and prints 1b. And in the third iteration, it updates letter to c and prints 1c. After the third iteration, Python returns to the inner loop header. Since there are no more letters in the letters list, Python moves to the final print statement in the outer loop. At this point, Python has completed one iteration of the outer loop and 3 iterations of the inner loop. The second iteration of the outer loop works just the same as the first, except now the number variable is assigned the value 2. This means that when Python executes the inner loop, every grid entry that is printed will start with a 2. Similarly, when Python returns to the loop header after entry printed, use an outer loop to iterate through each student and an inner loop to iterate through each score, adding each score to the student's total and outputting it. Or you might want to convert a color image to grayscale, pixel by pixel, using a nested loop. In this case, you'd use the outer loop to iterate through each row of pixels and an inner loop to iterate through each pixel in the row, applying the grayscale operation to the pixel at the current row and column position. If you're curious,
wala makapasok sa utak ko. Bukas na ulit. We will learn, ano ba, dictionaries tsaka len. Very helpful to. Very helpful tong ano. Ito. Okay, that's for day 10. Ayusin natin yung past, tawag ito, projects. Mas efficient.